should be live. Welcome to the Bardic Inspiration Podcast. I'm your host, Brad the Bard, and with me today, it brings me great pleasure to have on my amazing, incredibly athletic guest.
That's me.
Anthony Orozco.
Known for my athletic exploits.
And his journalistic expertise, as well as his
Poetic art forms
and prowess in the Latin community of Reading,
Hey.
Pennsylvania. What's going on, homie?
What's up, man? How
Sorry
are
for
you?
the technical difficulties earlier. Hopefully that's worked out. My girlfriend will call me if it was a problem, if it's still a problem. Perfect, she says.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Shayna. You're the best.
It's awesome that we have one person at least watching.
I'm sure we're gonna get a bunch more here shortly.
Cool.
Are you good there?
Dope shit. Yeah, I'm gonna figure this out. It's gonna just keep.
All right.
I'm a rock with it, man. I'm just gonna manhandle.
Let it go. Let it go this way, and then just like give
Alright.
it that gangster lean, you know?
Yeah, leaned out. Know how I'm talking about.
All day, no diggity, no doubt.
Double cup lean.
I'm gonna just tighten mine so that it's holding steady right there. All right, man. So.
So what?
So what?
So what? What's good?
Mind your neck. All right. So you just got back from climbing at the Bird.
Yes,
today.
I did. That's why I'm dressed the way I am.
That's why I'm the way I'm is.
Yeah, there's a lot of photos of me like with shirts and ties and like sweaters and button-ups and sport jackets. That's not how I operate. I mostly operate like I'm about to mow the lawn, and I don't even own a lawn. Bro.
Yo, same, bro. I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
So, what were you climbing today, man? So you were in Birdsboro.
Yeah.
You were doing lead climbing?
Yes.
Sport climbing?
I was doing lead sport climbing. I tried to go up the streak today, 13A. Didn't do so well.
13s? That's what you're fucking climbing right now?
I mean, I know that one through and through, so I'm able to do that on a good day. Actually, on Friday, I did the 513, and then immediately belayed someone, and then after that, went up a 12C and tried to do a 12D 13A extension, but beefed it right at the top. So
that's crazy. I haven't climbed in a long time, and it's hurting my wrist just thinking about doing what you're describing.
Yeah, it's a dope night, man.
Yeah.
Ran into some good people, some new friends.
No doubt, man. I'll say that's one thing that's awesome about the climbing community. Everyone's, just looking for a good time.
Yeah.
All right, so you also just traveled to Cuba.
Yes.
Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, man.
Explain how you got there and like what was the situation, what made you end up going to Cuba?
Yeah, I went with a photographer by the name of Mateo Toro. He is a Reading-based videographer and photographer. He runs Rhetorical. He went there last year. He wanted to do a coffee table book, photo book about Havana. And he came back and he looked at it, and after a couple of months he realized that he grew as a photographer. So he was like, nah, we gotta go back and do it better. And he just threw it out to me one day like, yo, why don't you come? I want to like have a little poetry in there. I said, all right, let's do it, man. So we bought our tickets, and then we spent, I think it was almost 2 weeks on the island. A couple of days in Havana, a couple of days in Trinidad, where I almost fucking died. and then like a day in Viñales, which is on the eastern coast.
Let's pause and let's talk about how you almost died.
Yo, don't eat Chinese food in Havana. Yo, we went to Chinatown.
In Havana.
Where there's no Chinese people. No, there's some Chinese people, but we went to this place and we ordered some like chop suey type shit. And the grease was black.
The grease on the food?
Yo, the grease was black. It was delicious though. And as soon as we finished eating it, the buddy I was with, Mateo, he was like, yo, we shouldn't have done that.
It was kind of like you guys were just looking at each other like, I'll have another bite. You gonna have another bite?
In Havana. All right? And we took some home, right? We boxed it. It was so good. We got to take it home. So we actually spent the night like walking around Havana, the nightmare alleys that are Havana. I mean, it's like beautiful in the sense that it's also terrifying.
Yeah,
There's
it's like
no-
nature, you know.
yeah. There's no violent crime out there. There isn't like any like what is it like
stabbings
grab and
and
goes?
stuff,
Yeah, it's just stab and goes. There isn't any of that. It's mostly swindling.
Swindling.
So
yeah,
we were out there all night,
pickpockets.
but the streets look like nightmare alleys, man. We got home and we finished the rest of the food. I just pounded it,
man.
And then I woke up that morning, ralphing, shitting,
Oh my god.
and just like generally feeling like ass. And then they were like, "Yo, here, have some of this fruit, this like fresh smoothie." Okay, yeah, sure.
That sounds.
As soon as
like
I
a
hit
move.
that, I
Again,
vomited
It's like no,
immediately.
it's like.
But we had
no vacancy.
Yo,
Sorry.
dude. we had a 5-hour drive from Havana to Trinidad,
Oh my god.
which is at like the southern coast.
Yeah.
And a 1950 something pulls up with no air conditioning, jerry rigged to where there's like 12 people in it. And bro, I was like hallucinating in like 100-degree weather, like in this crazy ass 1950 something cargo like carrier out in the middle of nowhere, just hallucinating, bro. Just dehydrated. And in Havana, I thought that was it, bro. I thought I was gonna die.
Yeah, that sounds pretty metal, man. Like,
Yo, I started praying to saints I don't even believe in and shit.
That sounds like a Living Tool music video.
Dude, it was. It was just like it was like a Tool video.
Yo.
And then
of
somebody saved my
control.
life. An
How?
artist.
Tell me your tale, man. What happened?
So this artist he's a sculptor, and he came to Reading. I wrote a report on him. This was like 2 years ago. He's a Cuban, lives in Trinidad. We hit each other up on Facebook. I told him I was gonna be there, but when I got to the Airbnb, I just felt like ralphing and shitting my brains out. And he was like, "Well, if you want to meet, we can still meet." And I was like, "All right, let's try to do it, man." And we go over there. We go to some hotel bar. We wait for him. He shows up. I'm feeling okay. And then we walk out into that Havana or that Cuban heat, man. And I was like, "Nah, I'm gonna die. I need to go." So I let him and the photographer hang out. I went to the Airbnb to shit my brains out. And then they ran into like a doctor. And there isn't like any CVS
Small
out there.
world shit, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's just windows with old ladies selling Pepto-Bismol. So
And
they-
Robitussin.
dude, they got some Tussin. No, they got some like some pills because they were like, he has salmonella. They knew like instantly he's got salmonella. So they gave me some pastillas, some like pills, and some rehydrating powder.
Oh,
It
okay.
tasted gross,
yeah,
bro.
no doubt.
And I pounded a bunch of water, took them pills, had some hallucinations, and then in like 2 hours, I was good.
Wow, dude.
And then we went out to an art gallery opening, which was dope as fuck.
that
it was
modern
crazy.
Cuban medicine, bro.
Yo, shout out to Cesar Cepeda back in Trinidad,
Here,
man.
get
He's-
this like kind of closer to you.
He
just
saved
make
my
sure.
life, bro.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
That's awesome, bro. Cheers to him.
That shit was
Here,
crazy.
I'll fucking let me see if I can get this.
Yeah.
A little more stable for you. We just
Yo, what's up, Victor? Shout out, Victor. Out there getting people registered to vote.
Is that what he's doing these days?
I mean, aside from all the other cool shit he does, I'm sure.
He's up to a lot. He's a crazy dude. That
Yeah, he's a
Victor.
cool
that
guy.
Victor.
Shout out to Laura Cordero. Do you know Laura?
Yeah. That
Yeah.
Joe, the guy with the big bus. That's Laura's brother.
Oh shit.
Small
Awesome.
world, bro.
Right. Okay.
Small world shit.
Yeah.
No, that's fucking awesome. So, yeah, so you almost died, and then you
Almost
ended
died.
up in Trinidad. What happened after that?
Trinidad. We went to the art
Are you good?
exhibit.
don't
I'll just
need to
hold it. You know what I'm saying?
You
That's
good?
it. It's got that
Is it-
steady. You know, it's leaned up. No. They had an art opening at a Black Cat Gallery. It was called, and it was as if they took like 50 hipsters out of Philadelphia and made them Cuban. It was crazy. Because in Havana, that's like the main capital, the capital city, or the main capital. It's the only capital, but it's like the big city, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And this place looked like an old colonial town, but it was filled with much more life and vibrancy, and like nobody was trying to scam you out and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was a lot of artists, and that was real Cuba, man. Havana is cool to stop into.
That's
but
like the touristy place.
I would say, yeah. I mean, there's other touristy spots, but yeah, get out of Havana if you ever go to Cuba. You want to go to like Trinidad or Vinales. Vinales was cool. That was the cigar region. We copped some cigars from a little old lady.
Nice.
We were like walking around. They have these like mesas or like these things that just jut out of the earth. It looks like Moab or something. Like they're just like just tables that jut out of the earth. It looks like Dragon Ball Z style mountains, just like pillars, monoliths.
That's crazy.
And it's like fresh limestone for climbing. And we went back there to check it out. And there was bolts on them. There was freshies on them.
Wow, bro.
Somebody was bolting them, but to get back there, you had to cut through this little finca, this little farm, and this like 78-year-old man and 74-year-old wife were just fucking living like old campesino, just farm life, man. She was rolling cigars, smoking them. We bought cigars off of her. We watched homie work. It was crazy, man. It was a crazy, crazy, crazy trip.
That's awesome. So generally speaking, so was the guy you went with was Cuban?
No, he's Colombian.
What? That is so random. So what made you decide to go to Cuba?
Sort of the taboo feel or the foreign feel, the alien feel. It's a different place, and because of our strained relations with Cuba,
like the American relationships.
Yeah, people see it as sort of off limits.
Yeah,
it's
no
that
doubt.
forbidden Caribbean fruit.
I think.
You know what I'm saying? You got a Cuban dude in here?
I think I do.
Oh, shit.
It just reminded me. Does that guy look familiar?
Yeah, that's Che Guevara. Che Guevara was a revolutionary of Cuba. He's actually Argentinian. He's not Cuban himself.
Wow.
Yeah. Comes from Argentina.
I'm taking my notes, man. Thanks for the history lesson.
Yeah, a lot of people got a lot of mixed feelings about him, but he was a hell of a guy, one way or another, whether you dislike him or love him.
Yeah.
He lived a fucking crazy life, man. Over there just like flipping countries.
Flipping countries.
Dude, him and 80 guys got in a boat from Mexico, made it to Cuba, and flipped that thing in a couple of months. The shit was crazy, man.
That is crazy, man.
And then, so he was like the Secretary of Agriculture and the Minister of this or that. He was giving speeches at the UN, and he was like a top-tier revolutionary. He could have lived the rest of his life palatial, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He went back in the shit. He went to Bolivia to start another revolution, so at least he believed in it.
No doubt.
I mean
credit where it's due, right?
Yeah.
What do you think about Bolivia, man? That's like super, like in the, that's the woods, bro. Yeah. That country is the woods.
I don't know much about Bolivia. I know that they got a interesting president out there, and I know that the relationships with Cuba and Venezuela are very interesting at the moment, but yeah, I don't know too much about Bolivia.
Yeah, I know, like, I watch a lot of Joe Rogan podcasts.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, I just learn about this random shit all the
Sure.
time. But there's, the guy's name escapes me right now, but he's, like, a hunter, and he goes down there to hunt with the Bolivian people that, like, live in the woods.
Oh, really?
Like, they live
a lot of natives out there still.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, that's, like a large part of the population.
Yeah, shout out my indigenous people,
Yo,
man.
no doubt, bro.
Fucking love
I hope
indigenous
you guys
people.
can watch this eventually.
No, they can't. They got Wi-Fi. Everybody's got a hotspot.
No doubt, bro. Probably watching more important things than this, though.
Yeah, that's right. They're probably watching better shit than this.
Oh, man. But no, that's super cool. So, yeah, man. So, how did you meet your friend that's a photographer? The name?
His name is Mateo.
Mateo, what's the last name?
Toro.
Mateo Toro.
Mm-hmm. Check him out on IG.
I'll have
Mateo
to.
Toro.
Definitely, you gotta give me the info then.
He's a cool guy, yeah.
That's awesome.
And I met him wildly because I call him my cuñado, which means like brother-in-law in Spanish.
Yeah.
He's basically my brother-in-law. He's cousins with my longtime girlfriend, Tatiana Ferronda. Check out Tatiana. Shout out. She's my girl. She works at the Animal Rescue League.
Oh, that's awesome,
Taking
man.
care of them kitties. So if you got a sick kitty, bring them in.
No
Tati
doubt.
got you. Maybe. I don't know how it works, but
My girlfriend walks the dogs for the shelter, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, girls just like taking care of animals.
Oh, that's
man.
great. Awesome. Yeah.
It kind of explains why we're
Why they
taking
take care of us. Yeah. But yeah, he is her cousin, and they grew up like brothers and sisters.
Nice, yeah.
And he is a mover and shaker, man. He's a businessman. He's an entrepreneur. He's got that mindset of just making it happen. And he's taught himself to be a videographer and a photographer, and I respect that. You know what I mean? He's got a lot of talent. So shout out to Mateo, man. He's done he's done all of my poetry videos, basically.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like all the ones on Facebook and on your Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So
he does good work. I'm a fan of his editing and his he really the one video that I like was the reason I wanted to have you on my podcast.
Oh, shit.
Was the one it's like, oh shit.
Which one was that?
Coming down to the
Which
wire
video
here.
of mine was that?
So it was, I believe it was at your studio or what have you, wherever you do like your events.
That's right.
And you started like sitting down and you stood up and you ended up on the roof.
Yeah.
And that's where it ended.
Yeah.
Can't remember 100% what it's about, but like that was like, fuck, bro, Anthony's a fucking beast. Like, I need this man in my life.
That poem is about.
It was powerful, man. That moved me.
Yeah, it's a little vague, but it's about the interconnection that we all have with one another. About blurring lines. So in that, I was actually being filmed by a documentary filmmaker, and I like saw the setup, and I was like, "No, we gotta use this," because they had the lights on me and everything. I was like, I was like, Mateo, get the thing, let's do it. And he's like, "Can you do it? Can you?" I was like, "Yeah," and it was one take, and we did it. So that was a lot of fun. But that poem, what is that poem called? That poem is called "Restless Glimmer." A restless glimmer. It talks about the interconnection that we all have, the sort of blurring lines of reality and fantasy and future and present, those sort of things.
Yeah.
Big concepts.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
no doubt, man.
That pretentious shit, you know what I'm saying?
That's all. None of that pretentious shit. Oh, man. So can you give me a little bit of background where the name Glyph came from?
Oh, yeah, Glyph. So, Glyph truly just means a symbol. So, you know, we're all symbols for something greater. Like, when it comes down to it, when our life is over, we represent something. And sometimes we're lucky enough to choose it. Sometimes we're not. So, taking that, and then also the idea of the written word. So a glyph, like a hieroglyph or an ancient glyph, is communication. You're conveying a message to somebody. And so I respect the written word. I live the written word. So I just wanted to use that, and I love the way it sounds. And then the symbol that we have in your Pentagon there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, shout out to Saint. That's a local artist.
Saint Sanchez.
Saint Sanchez. Actually, watch out that last name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just go by Saint now. You know what I'm saying? Anonymity.
No doubt, bro.
Is appreciated. So
Oh, yeah.
Saint out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, he hooked me
I'm
up,
sure
man.
that's a moniker, too. I'm sure, like, he's not even, that's not his real name.
He's got like
Anyway.
3 or 4, bro.
No doubt,
Saint
bro.
of the Arawak. That's my man.
Saint of the Arawak.
That's what he calls himself. That's my boy.
That's amazing.
He designed that, and if you look at it, it's sort of like a Chinese character.
Yeah.
It's sort of got tag culture to it, because it's in there. It says Glyph,
Yeah.
but you have to figure it out.
Oh my God.
Yo.
People just have no class.
Holler.
They know I'm running. They know I'm running the cast, and they're giving me calls. My
Yo,
God.
holler.
Being famous is the worst.
Avocado
I wouldn't
atrocity.
know.
That's called, yo, tell me about it. That's every time I get near an avocate, bro. It's an atrocity. Take that seed out. Who is avocado atrocity?
I don't know. I think he's been following since I had my buddy Brian Tang on. So I believe it's a guy.
Are you a guy, avocado?
I believe it's a friend of my
Assuming.
my buddy Brian.
My boy out here
I'm
assuming
sure,
in 2019.
I'm sure that's what it is. Assuming 2019.
Yo, it's not the year to be
Oh my
assuming people's
God, bro.
positions. Shit.
It's not the year to be assuming. But I think, so when I had Brian on, we actually put together like this scavenger hunt, right?
Uh-huh.
And there was 3 scavenger hunts.
Uh-huh.
And you can win a t-shirt, and that is still going on. 2 of the prizes have been found, but there's still 1 out there.
What? Oh, so it's actually out there.
Yeah.
Geocached.
It's not geocached. It's in the description of my my interview with Brian. So if you guys are interested in that, still check it out. It's still going on. There's still one left. If you want to win a T-shirt from DEF CON 27, I will ship it to your house. Figure it out.
Yo, does your audience know what geocaching is?
I know what it is,
Yeah.
but I'm sure there's people out there that don't.
So I'm not with it, but like I go out bouldering, so I hang out in the woods, just like climbing on rocks.
Yeah.
And then you get these people out there with their phones, and they're just like
looking.
Yeah, they're interrupting your session. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, yo, you're cramping my style right now.
Yeah, like damn, bro.
It's like a bunch of shoobies running around, like longitude this direction.
With your fucking Skechers out here looking for some geocache.
Have you ever stumbled upon any?
No.
I've found some accidentally, and I'm just like, well, because I'm not about this. I'm not about to write my name on the little slip, because a lot of times they'll have like a little tube with a pencil and a paper. Like, if you found it, you can like write your name and when you did it.
Are you able to show people your laptop background? Because that's what I stumbled into last time I was out on Gretna. He was out there jerking off in the woods, bro.
Let him pull it up.
Yeah, everybody at home.
Yo, Avocado's out there saying,
yo,
you better believe I know geocaching.
Yes. Avocado. Yay, Chloe. What's up with Chloe Kravitz?
Man, let me just
Yo, Chloe Kravitz. I forgot your last name was Kravitz. Tell Lenny I said what's up.
So that's the picture.
Look at that. That's when you're out there jogging and you see homie out there like peeing too long, you know what I mean? Like, yo, he's been peeing the whole lap.
The whole lap.
Yo, I've done 3 laps and he's not peeing.
It's like, yo, Brad, what are you doing over there? It's like, yo, mind your business, bro. You have some running to do?
That's all right, you know. You got to reconnect with nature.
Yeah, sometimes, bro.
Pollution's real, bro.
Not when it's biodegradable, baby.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. So where were we? What kind of tangent did we just go off on? My God. So you're Glyph. Yeah, I was talking to Saint of the Arawak there, and I wanna have him on. But
Saint's the dude. He'll bring a ski mask.
That's what I was saying. Like, I want to have you on, but I don't.
I wish he was watching this. Shout out to that
we'll send it to the man.
Taino. Yeah. I love that little kid, man. He's awesome.
He's
not
a
kid.
Guy.
He's a real dude.
He's a great guy. But that's what I was saying. Is like, the questions I'm gonna have for you are gonna be illegal, like for you to answer. So I don't know how we would do it.
Ski mask.
For sure. Some Banksy shit. You know what I mean?
For
like,
sure.
I just gotta like really shade this area and just light me. You know what I mean?
I respect it, bro. He's got me in a Instagram group message going on called the Parliament. Maybe I shouldn't even be putting this out. Yeah, it's VIP. It's called the. You know what I mean? Yeah, we got to. It's an invitation only, where we share each other's art.
No doubt.
He's got some sick shit out there.
Dude, he does. I've seen a lot of his work.
That's some geocaching, bro. Yeah. Join the Parliament and try to find this homie's tags. They're out there.
No diggity.
No diggity, no doubt.
Yo, that's incredible. But yeah, he's great. I definitely want to have him on. You know who Banksy is?
Yeah, of course.
I think I have a piece of his in here. That's one right there.
Yes.
With the bananas.
I'm very familiar with Banksy.
Yeah, Banksy's great. Have you ever seen that film Exit Through the Gift Shop?
Yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's a winner, man.
Yeah, dude.
Mr. Man. It's a great quote from Mr. Brainwash that I love.
What's that?
Life's like chess. I don't know how to play chess.
I don't know. Shout out to checkers. Shout out to Uno. That's how I play life.
I'll drink to that, bro. If I had a beer. Shout out to Phil Groff as well for letting me get that last beer from the last podcast. Yeet.
Yo, I was actually kind of like hesitant and a little like embarrassed to have a second name, but it's like a band name.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And plus I use
I'm Brad the Bard. Like that's the silliest shit ever. But as long as it's catchy, like Glyph, I'm like, tell me
what's
more.
What's going on? I actually don't know how catchy it is because everybody thinks it's Cliff.
Oh.
Like, yo, what's up, Cliff? I'm like, no, it's not Cliff,
like, man,
it's Cliff.
Who are you? It's because all the people you run with, they got the husky Hispanic accent.
Yeah, Cliff.
It's like all my family calls me, like, my name's Brad, or my full name is Bradley, and they go, Browley, ¿qué pasa? Browley. It's like, what?
I love it.
That's not it. I was just like, it's so funny. I was at my buddy's house the other day. His name's Stanley. And his wife is Dominican, and everyone calls him Sterling.
Sterling. Oh my God! Sterling is like a sleeper, like under the radar Latino name,
No
Sterling. Okay, sure.
Oh, Bigfoot. Glyph, do you poet around professionally or as a hobby?
Ooh, perfect question. Both. I do it as a passion.
Absolutely.
And sometimes I get paid for it. Just recently, something I did without being paid, but just for the love of the craft, I brought a poet from Puerto Rico to Reading for a week-long artist residency.
Like a tour kind of thing?
Like a tour.
That's awesome.
We called it Crónicas de Polvo Tour, the Chronicles of Dust, because that's a mixture of his two books, Todo tiene polvo, everything has dust, and Crónicas de una tragicomedia incompleta, Chronicles of a incomplete tragic comedy. And that is Abel de Andrea. He was a poet that I brought from PR. And we did 7 shows in and around Reading. He also did a workshop. So every month I also host a poetry workshop.
Yes.
At Barrio Alegría, the studio you mentioned earlier.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I definitely want to check that out.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
gonna drop in. I'm gonna write some poetry for you.
Dude,
we've had hang out, man.
We've had a bunch of people come in.
You run an open mic there, don't you?
I don't run it. I'm associated with it in a sense.
okay,
I know the
okay.
people. I don't run the open mic. But this is not an open mic. Of course, this is a workshop. It's like
Yeah.
going to the gym.
Yeah, no doubt.
Instead of like flexing and showing what you have, this is like getting your curls in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
the mental curls.
Yeah. So we talk about the philosophy of poetry, tools. So metaphor, wordplay, rhyming, rhythm, presentation, a whole bunch of stuff. It's different every month. But it was a blessing to get Abel out there and share his philosophy. And it was, I mean, I'm bilingual, but it was truly bilingual. We had like live translation of poetry. It sounded beautiful.
That's
Shit was crazy.
incredible, man.
And it was one of our best attended. It was like 20 folks to come out there and talk about poetry and writing. I
Yeah,
can't believe that
man.
it still happens. You know what I mean?
That's always. I remember when I was in middle school, I always had a passion for just like I'm a musician now, so
Sure.
I know how to write lyrics, and that's
Yeah.
usually how my poetry, so to speak,
It is poetry.
comes to life.
It is poetry.
with the assistance from a guitar.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been writing little excerpts here and there for a long time, man.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
always been a fan of the craft.
I mean,
So
that's
I
great.
definitely want to come out, man. I definitely want to come out and like see you strut your stuff and just take some advice from you. Like I'm a big fan of just taking notes and advice from my friends that are experts in the craft.
So a beautiful thing about that setup too is, and everyone's invited. So that's usually at 6 p.m. Although the next one is it's October 5th, which is a Saturday, October 5th at 2 p.m. at 140 North 5th Street in Reading.
Do you have like an event posted somewhere, like
Yeah,
Eventbrite or like a Facebook page?
Yeah,
or
we're gonna
something?
have a Facebook page on Anthony Orozco. If you
Definitely
check
drop
out.
that to me and I'll throw it in the description here
Word up.
too. So when I throw this around, people can see that.
Word up, yeah. And that one's gonna be about finding your identity, and this is from a local author. His name is Robin Gao, and it's about finding yourself in general, but he is coming out with a collection of poetry. He's a young guy. He's already getting published. He's an editor at a poetry magazine, and he explores like queerness and finding who you are through that, and everyone can benefit from that to understand who you actually are. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. Everyone's invited. Come through.
Yeah.
Please do. Learn
That's
more about yourself.
October 5th.
October 5th on a Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Awesome. What do we got here? Glyph Javi. Mononymous. Yo, like Beyonce.
Oh, well, I don't. Yeah. Actually, I had a last name for it.
Oh, really?
I had a last name, but I think I'm actually gonna use that for another project that I'm doing. I'm just gonna use the last name that I had.
Oh, nice.
I'm just gonna use that as the title for a project that I'm doing now.
That's super cool, man.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, so Glyph now, it's mononymous. But also, I mean, now I have more names because it's Anthony Orozco and Glyph.
Yeah.
So it's AKA.
Yeah.
I use them interchangeably.
Yeah. Well, you have the 2 Instagrams.
Yeah, I got two. Orozco Reporting. Orozco, I believe, Reporting all one.
I think it's underscored.
It might
Look
be
in the
under-
description because I pasted
check it
there.
out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, so that's my everyday life. And then my poetry stuff, you can find that on Glyph poetry.
Awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, man, I love the art, bro. I love seeing people express themselves, open up new like cracks in the armor that we put up around the world, because the world's crazy, bro.
Absolutely,
People
man.
say some wild shit to you or do some wild things, and people develop that armor or like the lenses that they look at the world. But when you create those cracks, little slivers of light and character and personality come through, and it's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, man. Yo, so
love
let me ask you, like, this is a pretty controversial thing that's been going on lately.
Oh, shit. What's up?
The Dave Chappelle comedy special and the
Uh-huh.
Bill Burr comedy special that just came out.
Sure.
They're getting a lot of flack for a lot of things
Yeah,
they
yeah,
say,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
So as a poet, but someone that's really open to just, being sensitive at the same time, hugely just your whole craft, hinges on freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Like, how do you feel about these comedy specials that people aren't receiving well, and just like
Sure.
their art form and everything? Like,
Sure, yeah, and that's a very astute observation. Everything I do relies on the freedom of speech. Journalism, poetry, congregating, activism. Because I consider myself now, I finally wore the title of it. I'm a community activist through the arts.
yeah,
But I saw both of the specials. I actually was like not all that impressed by Dave Chappelle's. I thought it was funny. Like there were some parts of it, but some of it seemed like stale.
this is what I was telling people. Like, a lot of people, I feel like, were just saying it was amazing because that was their opinion. I thought it was great, but his last one I thought was better.
Yeah,
But-
with the two of them.
Yeah. The Netflix thing where he had like
The
the
last
bigger
one,
one and then that
yes.
small venue one.
That last one was better.
That was incredible. I thought that was his best special that he's ever done.
Yeah.
Yeah, not this most recent one.
I don't know if it was his best, but I thought it was great because the last one, or not the most recent, but the one before that, the two, you could see him just like hit whatever target he wanted at that point, and then the second one that he did, it was like closer quarters. It was
Yeah.
more intimate,
Exactly.
and he got to explain himself, and you got to see the man behind the comedy.
Yeah.
And this one is called Sticks and Stones for a reason, I think.
Absolutely.
Because he's just like,
oh yeah,
he's
he's
pushing
trying to,
all the
yeah,
buttons,
as
but at
many
the
as
same
he can.
time,
Yeah.
it seems like low hanging fruit.
Absolutely. That's kind of how I felt, man. That's kind of how I felt.
I mean,
I laughed at a lot of it, but it was like, man, that's easy. Like, I saw the thing I love about Dave Chappelle the most is some of his punchlines. You don't see it coming. This one I was like, I know it's coming. Like for a lot of them, like some of the stuff was great, but Bill Burr's was incredible. Like the bit that he had about Kaepernick. Oh my god, I was almost peeing my pants.
Oh
It
yeah,
was so good.
I saw. I think I may have seen Bill Burr's latest, but I like understand why they're fed up. I think they've swung back. You know what I mean? That sort of pendulum of reaction to where people have tried to shut them up so much that they're gonna go as hard as they can in whatever way they can to say the most controversial things. I think I don't know. Some of it I didn't find funny. I'm not even gonna talk about it being potentially harmful.
Yeah.
I think other people can maybe speak to that more eloquently than I can.
Yeah.
But just as watching it as I was doing the dishes,
Yeah.
like, and seeing how many times I laughed, like there was a couple of times where I kind of did like the lowercase LOL.
Yeah.
Like,
chuckle. Yeah.
there was more air coming out of my nose than usual. But I think the second half of Dave Chappelle's latest special was stronger, and I think it had less to do with like victim blaming and making fun of trans people. I think it was like more. I forget what the second half was about.
I know, like, he ended on the thing where, like, he was poor paying with change, and that's the only time he ever thought about, like, shooting up the school or whatever.
Yeah.
That had me dying,
His
too.
racial comedy is hilarious
Dude,
to me.
it's his, I think that's his bread and butter, man.
Yeah, that's his niche.
Yeah.
And, or, I don't want to say that's his niche, but, yeah, he's got a real strength in that. And,
Yeah.
he, like, showed the image of the trans person that he was talking about. Did you see that at the end, at the epilogue? Did you watch the credits?
I don't think I did.
So it shows the picture of Daphne, I think was the person's name, that he talks about, that he was at a bar and he did the jokes, and if he couldn't do it in front of Daphne, then how could he do the jokes about trans people? So he did it, and she thought it was hilarious. Well, he shows her picture at the end, like, of them posing together, which to me, I felt two ways, like it shows that he's a human being and that he's not just firing them off, but it also
Yeah.
sort of feels like, here's my trans
Get
friend,
out of
so
jail
it's all
free
cool.
card. Yeah.
But I don't know. I think he's a hilarious genius.
Yeah.
And I also promote genius, man. And sometimes I think you gotta crack a lot of fucking eggs to make an omelet.
True
sometimes.
that, man. True
So
that.
I like people who just sometimes let it rip. I understand that there are consequences, but I love it when people just are authentically themselves. That's why I'm in poetry. I love it when people just let it fucking rip. When you
Yeah.
see a tornado come out of somebody, and sometimes it feels great to not say sorry and to not put disclaimers in front, to just fucking crack them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love that sort of
Absolutely.
shit. So
I can, just hearing you say that, like, without the disclaimers and everything, it kind of reminds me, like, I'll go to these open mics sometimes, and I'll do, like, a Metallica cover where I'm just going so hard, and just, I don't give a shit if it's interrupting your fucking falafel or whatever you're eating, bro. Like, I'm fucking gonna be really passionate when I sing this song,
Yeah.
and I'm not gonna be apologetic about how it ruined your night. Because there's going to be some people out there that are going to be like, fucking yeah, man. Like, I fucking needed that today. Like, the more, I feel like a lot of the times when you go out of your way to express yourself, you're doing, if you're doing it through an artful way that you really just want to express yourself, you're going to probably do more good than harm. Because someone's going to take that and be like, man, like, that was powerful and that moved me in some way.
Dude, I have a whole philosophy that you are given this gift by the universe, the cosmos, God, Tao, whatever you want to call it. This thing is inside of you. This shining light is inside of you. And it's like you have a responsibility to share it with people. Like, why are you hiding it?
Yeah.
Like, put some light in the world, bro. Like, just let it out. I think there's so many people who don't identify as an artist or as a poet or whatever, and they self-limit. And it's like, fuck, man, you might be the catalyst.
Yeah,
like,
man.
the poem that you say may not even be some shit that I can really empathize with, but the way you do it, when you do it, how it catches my ear, like, the words you use, all of a sudden may inspire a work of art that has nothing to do with what you did, but you, like, affected the world. You put that spice in it, you know what I mean? I think it's sacred. I actually think it's sacred to get woo-woo on everyone. I think that shit is like cosmic forces, you know what I mean?
No
if you
doubt.
have music in your heart, you gotta share it, bro.
Yeah.
It's selfish if you don't. So
It
share
is,
that
man.
shit.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like, this is something where it's loud when I play, like, a metal cover. Like, because I'm on my acoustic guitar and, like nothing else matters. Dum, dum, dum. Like, it starts so chill. Everyone's like, oh, what's this? And then, like, I fucking go into the fucking verses super hard.
Dude.
Like, toward the end. And, like, that shit just... When you have dynamics and you're building a story and you're telling it your way...
Exactly.
Oh, my God. That's amazing.
And when you're flowing, when you're not stumbling and you're hitting it, and you feel the momentum, dude, it's a rush, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I get goosebumps just thinking about it.
Absolutely.
I actually, so speaking on the idea of maybe saying things that are taboo, controversial, I have a poem that I do every Hispanic Heritage Month. Because growing up as, you know, being biracial in a bicultural household of white and super Mexican, like, I was always too Mexican for the white folks and too white for the brown folks. And so I wrote a poem, like, I was out here and people were saying wild shit to me and it got on my last nerve. And I wrote this, what I call argument porn, where I just win this argument, you know what I'm saying? And I say things that are really, really, really jarring.
Yeah.
They're not just offensive, they're jarring. Like, they're disturbing. But I say these things because I know my history. I know the history of Latin America. I know... I just know how to push buttons, too. And when you think I'm not enough of something, it's like, bitch, you don't know nothing about your culture.
Yeah.
You think I'm not Mexican because I don't look a certain way or don't
Yeah.
sound a certain way when I speak. But you don't even know anything about your history. You don't even know.
You're not going out of your way to support the community and things like this, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so with that.
And
I want to
so-
hear that one, man. That
I can rip it right now.
Yo, please.
All right.
Please.
So I don't feel this way always,
Yeah.
but I sure as fuck felt this way one day.
Yeah.
And it's called Conquest.
Okay.
And it goes, if I'm being honest, by this time, I thought I would be more callous. Thought I had seen the end of this tightrope balance, high on the hyphen between words that I accept but ultimately challenge. In a few short years, I forgot that despicable talent, hiding either being too tinted or too pallid, to plead for validation from birds of prey who say they mean no malice, though they peck at your self-respect to see what they can scavenge but see. Sometimes I have to shake a vulture's hand to feel his talons. All those buzzards need to know about my parents is that she taught me to dance in the rain, and he taught me to fear no man. And they both drew constellations in the sky, celestial pictographs revealing to me that I have always been what I truly am for an eternity before I ever even was, of bone, skin, eyes, and sinew. And I continue no matter how uncomfortable that may make you as you nitpick our differences, rather than recognize their significance. I and a legion of others through mere existence bridge incredible distances between culture and time, between what is taboo and what will become the norm. Excuse my breaking of decorum, but can you devilish pheasants feel the approaching storm? In unique form, I refuse to be examined through a closed mind's locked little keyhole, to be seen as anything less than equal to my own people. I am the son of a serpent-eating eagle, but you have turned as plain as paper cranes, flapping away your complexity, unfolding into a blank sheet that bears no inscription. Though this is scripted, I have never acted. But if you want to call action, then I can react physical and mental, replay you back to eons ago, when chieftains would so sacrifice you peons and go apocalypto. Back when the Mexica and Taino could smell European sailors' stench before they even cast their cast iron anchors into tropical trench, drenched in sweat and fever, scabs and shivers, floating on Portuguese money and Spanish timber, looking for spices, heeding to vices, and going manic for silver, sicker than slaves owned by their own family members. But I figure why bicker when you consider that I can only remember my roots is if I choose the proper liquor to damage my liver. You thieving belittler, you failed conquistador, trying to steal parts of my identity like Christians ripping jade out of the mouths of Mayans. Insidious insides cannot hide behind feigned kindness, so go ahead, compare our brownness. Though you may look like a Toltec, you couldn't tell me the first fucking thing about them. So easy for you to forget that we are both descendants of native women, raped by the thousands of brutes in pursuit of youth sprouting from the ground like fountains. Tribalism like your own has conquered countless, and there is only so much intelligence to go around, but ignorance has proven to be boundless, especially in those who have questioned my race lately, after explicitly stated, mistaken or out of date maybe, because I've had mestizo blood pumping my percussion since the late 80s, back where in the place that they raised me, it was still crazy to see a white lady with 2 interracial babies, so maybe you can save me the, yeah, but what color is your mom test? My ethnicity isn't a contest to see if I can please your backward mindset that has neither the insight nor historical context to even understand what I mean when I say que soy de la raza cósmica, cargado con una fuerza atómica. Take note of the phenomena, what you can be part of if you open your heart up. We are both mutts, yet you discount me by counting my spots. But your color cannot conceal your transparency. Day of the Dead craniums are picked clean of their rot. So I guess you vultures ultimately do come in handy. But I do not pluck the petals painted on the skulls of my family, asking if my brothers love me or love me not, because candidly, I love you all regardless, whether or not you can't stand or understand me.
That was powerful, my man. I feel like we need some applause in here.
I'll applaud myself.
Yeah, please. We need just some echoes.
But there's some shit in there
that was so powerful, man.
There's some shit in there that might offend somebody.
Yeah, no doubt. And I kind of resonate with that too, because I'm half white and half Puerto Rican myself.
Uh-huh.
And you know, I felt a lot of that.
Uh-huh.
It was,
Well, with the name like Brad Yeager,
Oh my God.
people may say some wild shit around you.
yeah,
And then
absolutely.
also, when you
but
go to-
I'm not nearly as talented in my bilingualistics as you are.
Uh-huh.
But I know when people are talking shit because that's the first thing you learn in another language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
yeah. I mean, that one is kind of spicy because I just got so sick of my fellow people saying that I wasn't them, and I was like, I was showing up for them. You know what I'm saying? I was reporting on them. I love Latinos, and you know, I had to check some people every once in a while. Like, bro, don't try to pull my card. Don't try to pull my Latino card. You don't want to see it, homie.
Yeah.
You know, I hate that shit. So, and usually before I do that poem, I tell people, everyone is told you're not enough of something. You're not man enough. You're not black enough. You're not smart enough. You're not pretty enough. You're not Latino enough. Well, bitch, yes, I am. You know, I'm just fine the way I am. So that poem is of that ilk. I love my Latino people. Obviously, there's a lot of history that I'm dropping in there. Just little jewels of history.
The line you did with the serpent-eating eagle.
I am the son of a serpent-eating eagle.
That was so nice.
Some people don't know what that means. I think you
the
have
flag.
the flag.
Absolutely. Oh my God, dude. The imagery was beautiful in there. That is a wonderfully crafted
Thank you very
piece
much.
of artwork.
Oh,
there,
by the
sir.
way, guys, I'm gonna be performing in Kutztown on Monday, the 23rd,
Yo,
at 7
please.
at Firefly.
Yo, give me whatever information you have and links. Give me it so I can throw it in
I
the
got
description.
you.
Please.
Let's see what they say. I'm half bred, Mexipino.
Yo.
What are you, Filipino, bro?
Well,
I love
Mexican and Filipino. Actually, Mexipino. He was the first guy to win part of the scavenger hunt. So
Yo.
not only is he a half breed, he is an intelligent
Yo.
guy, talented in ciphers. Good
Shout
shit,
out,
my man.
shout out my Filipinos. They're the Mexicans of the East.
Well, absolutely. I'm a mutt myself. yeah. The Mexicans of the East. I have some Filipino blood running in my veins as well, and that's something that's you kind of just took it out of my mouth. They're the Mexicans of the East.
I love it,
They're
man.
the Hispanics
That's
of the
the
Asian
thing.
community.
Like I say in my poem, we're both mutts, yet you discount me by counting my spots. Like, what are you
Absolutely,
talking
yeah.
about? You have no idea what's mixed in your family, bro.
Yeah, seriously. I think there's a great quote out there. I can't remember who it originated from because I've heard it in from so many places. But racism will die when we're all tan, and it's inevitable that we'll get there in the next.
Yeah,
you
we'll
know.
we'll all get beige and beautiful, bro.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where the
Bubble
world's
butts and
moving.
beige skin.
Absolutely, man. I think just if you just think about the further you go from your genetic line, like the further I go in the planet, if I mate with you, our offspring is going to be stronger because
dude,
they're gonna have more strengths.
You gotta mix it up.
Absolutely, man. It's just
A flick of the wrist, you
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But yeah, so I got a lot of poems. I can like rattle off a bunch. That's a beauty of being a spoken word artist.
Mhm.
I consider it just being a poet. They call it spoken word.
Mhm.
But I think people connect more when you look at them right in the eyes and you really fucking perform it. So I really respect the performance part of poetry as well.
Yeah, definitely. Well, just I have like a couple things I wanted to bring up that I have like
Let's
written
do it.
down too.
Let's do it.
Just one more thing to touch on your poem. The part where you actually spoke in Spanish, where you're saying about your
Do not mate with Glyph.
Yo,
Yo, I don't know if you saw that desktop background, but it might happen.
if it was possible, he'd be in trouble if I was gay. Trust me. But
If.
you said if.
Okay.
You said something to the effect of your. Now I can't remember 100% of it, but it was something to the effect of like your cosmic place with like your atomic makeup.
Yeah.
That
or
shit
that,
was.
I was. So that is a reference. It's a geeky, nerdy.
I fucking love, dude. I'm a nerd, bro. That's my shit, dude. When you said that, I was like, oh, Neil deGrasse would be so proud of that line.
Dude,
Like,
there was a philosopher in like 1930s Mexico who talked about the cosmic race when everyone's mixed in.
Mm-hmm.
There's mixed feelings about it because it's also like erasing indigenous people, which nobody wants to be erased. You know what I'm saying? But he was talking about once everybody mixes in, and that being the cosmic race, he called it la raza cósmica. So I say I'm part of la raza cósmica, cargado con una fuerza atómica, charged with an atomic force, and just getting out into that cosmic shit. So
yeah, no, I love that, bro.
yeah. So
that
what
was
are these?
Powerful,
What are
man.
these little notes you got? What's up?
Oh yeah. Okay, so I've been trying to do this for every guest. If I think of a question before I get to the interview, I want to write it down because I'm like,
preparation
this
H,
is
baby.
preparation H. So let me just go over here, and
I really wish that I had like something in the background so everyone could see how crazy my fucking hair is.
I love it. Okay, so the main one here, this one I have listed as question for a poet. What is your favorite word?
I've had a long love affair with unbeknownst.
Unbeknownst.
I like that.
It's a good one, man.
There's an ST.
Yeah.
There's no in there already. Unbeknownst. There's a buh.
Yeah.
It's just
there's a
great.
bug.
Like bewitched, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
I like it. No, that's cool.
Yeah.
It rattles off the tongue well.
Yeah.
One that I really like. This is one of those things where it's like, this is one of those questions where like, oh, what's your favorite superhero? I'm only asking you so I can tell you mine, kind of thing. My favorite word is disintegrate.
Disintegrate.
Because the word integrate is beautiful. Everything coming together. But to disassemble that integration, everything starts falling apart.
Granulate.
Oh my God, just
particulate.
yeah, like if you're on acid, you can think about that word for 5 hours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell me about it.
no doubt.
So what? You speak Spanish or what? No hablas español?
Mi español es débil, it's weak,
Está bien.
not good.
It's okay. I know. I feel your pain.
This is kind of how I feel like with my Spanish. I can go and survive in Puerto Rico, right? But I can't pick
you
up.
pronounced it right.
Right?
I don't even pronounce it right. I always just say Puerto Rico.
All right.
But you said it Puerto Rico.
Yeah, bro. Come on, man.
Yo,
like
shit.
my heritage is.
Where the
runs
pastelillos
through-
at, papa?
It's all about the mofongo, bro.
Yeah,
Get
the
out of here.
mofongo. Oh, the plantain. Plátanos, that's my favorite superhero.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
Did you see that?
You got the shape up.
Dude, he's so shaped
He's
up.
so Dominican.
That's a meme that says if Thanos
was Dominican,
it would be called Plátanos.
Plátanos.
All the white people at home are like, what are you talking about?
But yeah, so like when I describe my ability to speak Spanish, it's like I know enough Spanish that I can survive on the island, but I don't know enough to pick up chicks.
Oh,
Because you need to be suave with your language
Yeah.
to pick up chicks, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's what the guitar is for anyway.
Shout out Tatiana Ferranda, my love, my one true, my ride or die. She's ride or die, man. It's good to have a ride or die, bro.
No doubt, man.
You gotta have a woman who's got your back or a partner who's got your back. You know what I'm saying? Like your girl, she called us and let us know,
dude,
this was fuzzier than my navel. She was like, "Yo, your sound sounds a little crunchy. It's a little crispy, a little granola."
I would be a mess without her, and she knows it.
That's great. Shout out Cheyenne.
Shayna.
Shayna.
Yeah.
I always
She's up
I
here.
always read it wrong. I always like Cheyenne.
There it is, right there.
Shayna. Mexipino out here. Ne'er do well is my favorite word.
It's a good one.
Or
Yeah, where is that?
Nevertheless.
Nevertheless is a winner.
What the fuck? How did that sneak in? that thing crossed the border in a trunk, and they were like, nevertheless, that's one word. Okay. What?
I think I know that. Yo, Avocado Atrocity, for the super chat thing.
As long as you feed me.
Yeah,
That's
as
my
long
girl.
as you feed me.
I cooked her some Chinese food last night. She's probably eating it like, yo, it's got too much vegetables in it.
Oh, man. Unfortunately, I can't do my super chat unless I get 1,000 subscribers. So if you want to share this video around and help me get there, that would be cool. If you really do want to donate, there's a Patreon link. I just launched that, as well as my PayPal link. If you do want to support the channel, maybe I can actually get someone in here manning the mix board so we don't have any more audio problems.
Yo, word up.
We're all out here starving artists, man. Just trying to make ends meet, baby.
Yeah. I just hit puberty right there. I was like, yeah. It feels great to finally have pubes on my face. Look at this terrible mustache. Oh, can I get that hat?
Oh, absolutely.
So
the
I grew
pirate
this.
hat. You want the pirate hat?
Fuck! Way to spoil it.
Oh,
yes,
man.
give me the pirate hat.
Bro, there's 4 hats I showed
Jesus.
you. There's 4
Give me
hats I
the
showed you.
Puerto Rico one because
Is there a Puerto Rico?
yeah, there's that little
Dude, this
campesino one.
for your cosmic atomic.
Yeah. Oh man.
We can run through a few of these
All
bad
right.
boys, bro. I'll just throw that one there.
Okay, so this is like biker, like cyclist Tony. Yo, what's up, dude?
Sup,
Catch
bro?
me in the city. I'm like blowing through red lights, bro. And then you have.
Oh,
Look at this mustache. I grew this mustache for this pirate hat. Yeah, that's all I got for that one.
You gotta say some. You ever watch Eric Andre?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever see his bit where he's like he dresses like a cat burglar?
Please say psych.
Please say psych.
How could you say something so brave?
Yeah.
Let me
So
see.
controversial yet so brave.
And then this one.
That's a winner, bro.
Actually, I'm on my Chihuahua shit. Like,
I'm with that one,
my
bro.
family's from Chihuahua.
Sombrero.
Yeah, this is a sombrero.
Órale, güey.
Órale, güey, ya tú sabes. Este muchacho ya sabe. Bien carnal. Este carnal está bien. Yeah, see?
I think, honestly, a lot of my... growing up, I had more Mexican friends than I had Puerto Rican friends, just because where I lived.
If you knew Órale, güey, if you knew that, I knew you were real, bro. Come down to Chihuahua and see the family. Yo, you want me to do Land of the Cinder Block? I can do that one.
Land of the Cinder Block?
Yeah, that's about my...
That's another poem.
That's about Chihuahua, yeah.
Yeah, please.
That's the one that I did in Havana, which people
I
were
just
like,
watched that one.
yo, how come you're in Havana talking about Chihuahua? Yo, don't worry about the details,
Yo,
bro. Enjoy the fucking
mind
poem.
your neck, bro. For
Yo,
real, bro.
protect your neck. It goes, so, I'm not just going to get right into it. I'm going to tell you about Chihuahua. So, Chihuahua is crazy, man.
That's
like,
where your family's from?
That's where my
The
family's
Mexican
from.
side of your family?
White people laugh at it because it's like the dog. Chihuahua. To me, Chihuahua is this fucking desertous, narco traficante, fucking crazy death trap / like love center of my family. Like,
Yeah.
that's where all my uncles and cousins and my grandmother and all my extended family are. And there are times when you're in there, I'm attracted to extremes, to polarities. There are times where it's so beautiful and so elegant and indescribable that you can't find danger. You know, you're on a horse. You're out here with your primos on un caballo en el desierto hasta la monte, you know what I mean? And you be on the fucking horse, and it's so safe, and you're so beautiful, and you're surrounded by God, and cosmos and shit. And then there are times where you're like, yo, we need to get out of here, bro.
No doubt.
I want to get out of here right now. I don't even want to talk in Spanish because my accent's fucked up. So I don't want people to know that I'm the gringo.
I'm not from around here.
Yeah, there's times where it gets fucking crazy, man. And those the polarity of that is really interesting to me. And so I wrote this poem that goes, the last time I checked, the Department of State said I should have hesitations about the nation where I vacation, the land south of the Rio Grande. They tell me I should cancel reservations. I tell them, no mames. It's been 2 years since Grandma seen my face. And I don't care if there aren't any beaches there. And certainly no all-inclusive resorts. Dry and dangerous land is useless for tourists. It's the land where they call you carnal when you need them as much as they need you. The land that cannot be contained by a border, a wall, insults, or a fence. It's the land where they call you carnal when nothing can come between you. See, the irony of a hot pepper is that its spice is both its natural defense and the reason that we eat it. Sometimes the things that repel us are the same things that call us back to repeat them. It's the land where we pair pleasure with a little pain, a squeeze of lime over everything, including open wounds and the chile on our fruit. And it's hot in the land of the cinder block. No AC, no seatbelts, and the fenders popped. And there's rebar in these streets hard, and the reefer is popular, but watch your words, because foreigners are turned into stock. That's why I've got my pesos in my wallet, and my dollars in my socks. It's a land where the narcos' belts and boots glisten. Land of astutely listening to Abuela pray in a maroon kitchen. Land of La Revolucion, but the institution's got 43 students missing. It's a land of working 2 jobs, 6 days a week. Land of grilled onions, tortillas and meat. Elote y aguacate. Y botes de tecate. Indios tarahumare en su traje típico. Where rain is welcomed and where the mountains are mystical. Where grasshoppers broadcast the most unearthly desert sunsets. Land of machine gun policemen standing in a truck bed. Peril juts out of Chihuahua like blades of an agave.
but there's something hard-earned and intoxicating like tequila in its core. Something that soothes like aloe in its leaves. A blessing and a kiss on your forehead before you leave. But please, remember to mind the thorns. They are not there merely for decoration. They're there to protect itself from the things born in the nation where I vacation.
Powerful again, man.
Yeah, thank you.
I think something where I can kind of have empathy with that is when I went down after Hurricane Maria, there were so many people coming off of the island because it was just, trashed. Then, all that was left was, people that were either going down to help or, to rebuild, or the ones stuck. And sometimes the ones stuck are, desperate.
It was crazy. I bet it's really hard to see that, man.
Yeah. Honestly, there's one thing about Puerto Ricans, and it's like a thing that I kind of hold dear to my heart.
Yeah.
And anyone will say this about their culture, but we're really resilient people, man. We're strong, and we get hit by Mother Nature on a regular basis, and we keep getting back up, man.
Yeah, man. There's something really beautiful that the poet I brought here. So his book, the Incomplete Tragic Comedy, is about the days, weeks, and months after Maria, like immediately after.
Man, that's awesome.
And it's funny, it's tragic, but it talks about, how the community came together, how things started to function organically. There was order that started to happen on the island. Things looked more beautiful. People became poets because of how, they unplugged. For the first time in their lives, they were completely unplugged. And they had to get to know their neighbors. They had to get to know their neighborhood. And all of a sudden, people started to know each other and the connection. So
it was honestly beautiful with that. Like you're saying, everyone had to connect and just, you had to come together. And everywhere there are signs just spray painted everywhere. You kept seeing Se Levanta everywhere.
Se Levanta, yeah.
We will rise.
Yeah, man. Puerto Ricans have a little part of my heart, too, man. I love that island. Truly was La Isla del Encanto. I would it's just something else. Me and Tatiana sitting on the morro wall in San Juan at night, just looking at blackness, man. Just
you
infinite.
can see the stars so well too. If you're somewhere where there's no lights, like San Juan's probably not the best place, or Viejo San Juan anyway. But dude, I remember we went out the one time. There was this guy who was like, "Oh, you want to go see the bioluminescence?"
Yes, and I went to that too.
Dude, he took us it was like a dude like you. It was just like, "Yo, I know how to get in there, bro." It was like there's like some ocean.
It's like a dock marina. Basically
near the Waldorf Astoria Hotel.
Okay.
And it's like a private beach, but he knew a way to get in there, and you only had to pay him like $50. We went around, bro. We went around to like a not allowed to get in their way.
Get that bioluminescence.
Absolutely, bro.
Some of that glow in the dark. Yeah, I love it.
He was all about that hustle. But on the way in, like, we're kayaking into where you had to go. And, bro, like, I remember just, like, I was quicker than the group I was with. So I was just chilling, and I would just look up at the stars. And, my God, bro, I've never seen... I can count on my hands how many times I've seen the stars that clear.
Yo, I'm also a dancer. I cut a fucking rug.
That makes one of us, bro. So you will not catch me the fuck out there on the fucking dance floor, bro.
I love Puerto Rican salsa. I love the music. I just love the fucking vibes out there, man.
The music is great, but bro, I'm not a dancer, bro. I've never been,
Tati
man.
cut a rug,
Yo,
bro.
please do.
Yeah,
do it twice as much for me, bro.
Yeah, I love Oh, there's a climbing company out there. If you guys climb, if any of your viewers climb, it's called Climbing PR, and they helped a lot of people because they had all the ropes and gear and shit. They helped a lot of people during Maria.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
But I
didn't even know about that.
Yeah, shout out to my dude Jorge. He took me around on a bouldering tour in Yabucoa, which is like on the southeast coast. It's fucking amazing, dude. Right on the coast, right on the water, but way up on a hill, like overlooking it. Perfect, like granite bouldering, nails hard. Too, they didn't give fluff grades. Dude, they gave hard fucking grades out there.
Bro. No sandbagging out there.
Oh, dude, it was pristine. Yeah, bro.
That's amazing. I was climbing there actually with a friend of mine that you know, Gideon.
Yeah.
And Shayna.
Oh, he said you guys went to Bayamon.
Yeah, in Bayamon, that's where we were climbing, bro.
They got caves out there.
They got
right?
caves.
You gotta
and
show me that shit.
That
man.
was, dude. Let's go.
Is it easy to find that shit?
To find, it wasn't that. It's like the walk to the bird. You know what I mean?
And you can find like route information or no? Not really. You just gotta guess
I
it.
don't know, bro. I
You
just,
look
I
at it,
just,
you're
I
like,
just,
that looks
ha-
like
I
a
just
10.
asked the locals, and he's like, "Oh, you want like a 5'7" right here? You want like a 5'10? Let's go in the cave,
Yeah. I want
bro." I was doing really good there too. Like, oh my god, the climbing there is so unique
that
too.
limestone.
No, it's like volcanic rock.
Wow.
It's crazy, bro. Like the shit that you see in the gym where you're like, this is not a real feature. You'll never
That's a
see
real
this
feature
outside.
out there.
That's it. That's
Yeah.
where you see that fucking that handlebar shit. It's
Yeah.
there because it's like the volcanic rock's hollow here, and you can
Wow.
just. But then over here you
Sharp
got this
or smooth?
both.
A little bit of both.
Yeah, mostly smooth because you know you've got climbers on
Stalactites?
there, man.
Tufas? Stuff like that?
I mean, if you go in the cave, you'd find it. But there, like outside of the cave, there's climbing and inside.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm
got
referring
you.
like to the outside more.
I need to
But
check that shit out.
honestly, the inside of the cave is like stalactite as fuck.
Yo, there is there's a little beach. It's like east of San Juan. If you look at the island, there's like a little hook. I forget what that shit's called.
Shayna said there's Mountain Project.
Oh, cool.
App
Very cool.
that we did find stuff on.
There is a beach. There's like a little horn east of San Juan, about a half hour. And people usually go to this side of the beach. There's a little path that takes you to a hidden beach, bro, with true volcanic rock coming off of the side of the coast, and the waves are like right under it. And the sand is so soft you don't need a pad, bro. You just like fall from like 8 feet up and just sink into the sand.
Wow.
And
Where
nobody's
was
out
that?
there. Fuck, it's like half an hour east of San Juan. If you look at it on Google Maps, there's a little horn and a little beach. But on this side, that's where everybody goes. Then there's a little trail that takes you to the
It makes.
super secret spot.
There's a bunch of super secret spots.
It's VIP.
There's one that I almost died at
Really?
twice.
Wow,
two
fuck.
separate occasions.
Where, in Arecibo?
Manatee.
Manatee? You're about
Manatee.
dying on Manatee?
Yeah,
Fuck.
almost twice, bro. There's
Damn,
like
dog.
a little hidden beach you have to like walk to. Yeah,
Fuck.
it's a good time.
So what's up with this BJJ?
What do you want to know about it, bro?
You got a
You
belt?
should come out. Yeah, I got a belt.
What
It's in
belt-
my car right
what
now.
belt you rocking?
Blue.
Wow,
right now.
that's pretty
Yeah.
advanced, eh?
Yeah, I mean it's that means
Choking boys out.
I can probably show you a thing or two, and I could show you a thing or two. Where like a white belt, you should probably not
No,
take
no.
advice from that guy because
Yeah.
he's new, you know. I won a tournament. I got double gold with my black belt episode 2. Andrew
way to
Cockle,
go.
shout out to the man. And a couple weeks after that, basically, they kind of like did a little belt ceremony. Like, all right, you're good enough to get this. And he ripped the belt off and put the new one on.
Wow, man, that's awesome.
It was awesome, man. It's
Was it brown to blue?
no,
was
it goes white, blue, purple, brown, black.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so
way to go, man.
yeah, man, it was great. Honestly, I'm not the best BJJ practitioner,
I got you.
but I know a thing or two about the art and just like the history of it, and it's just an amazing art form. As far as martial arts go, highly recommend it for anyone, like especially no offense, but like smaller sized people.
Yo, what the fuck?
It's just joint manipulation and choking, man. You can take out a 300-pound guy if you know what you're doing, man.
Yeah, you don't
And
have to rely on swinging.
Yeah, and it's crazy because my buddy Andrew fought another friend of mine in a tournament where it was an absolute division. He weighs like 160. I don't know what you weigh, but
130 something.
yeah, well, that's pretty light.
That's pretty light.
for sure. But he beat like a 300-pound guy that used to train at my gym, and that guy is like a fucking. He was like a federal cop,
Dang, dog.
dude. Like he's
Federal cop?
Yeah, like he was like a federal
Like he had the
federal
haircut?
FBI agent kind of guy.
Fuck.
No, he was bald. Like he's just like he
Oh.
looks like fucking Vin Diesel, bro.
No.
And Andrew beat him with you know.
I used to wrestle in high school.
Dude, you should come spar with us a little bit.
Dude,
Just come roll around a little
I
bit.
enjoy it. So the reason I stopped wrestling was because I hated the competition side of
Yeah, well,
it. I
dude,
don't like competing.
yeah.
I don't like going against somebody who's actually like
Like out
raging
for-
about
yeah.
it. Yeah, I don't like that.
I think like when I compete, I'm really empathic. Like I put myself in other people's shoes way too
Same.
much, and I don't want to hurt you.
No, I
don't want to hurt you. And I'm just happy, like, when I get to a competition, it's so hard for me to turn the part of my brain off that's just like, look at all these people here that are here for this awesome thing that I do. Yay.
Yeah, the soft
you know what I
part of
mean?
you.
Like, I have to turn that off and be like, I'm here for blood. You know what I mean? I have to do that. And I don't do it often. I don't compete often. But when it's free or I'm giving money, like there's a competition called Tap Cancer out that I'm probably going to do.
Oh, nice.
And that, you know, the money goes to a good cause and stuff.
Choke out kids with cancer. That's fucked up.
Yeah, dude. I mean, it's a good time, man. Something's got to kill them. You know what I mean?
Wow. What time is it now?
What time is it? Better them than me. No, that's terrible. But yeah, I'm not a huge into the competition part of it, but I'm the announcer of a division called Submission Arena Grappling Competition. I'm the in this corner Bruce Buffer guy for that competition. So I just know a lot of people, and it's just fun to travel around and spar with people. It's just like climbing. It's like any other niche sport, you know?
Technique. It's all technique.
It's all technique, man.
It's not like out there just swinging. It's a lot
of
technique.
In these competitions, there's not really any swinging.
No swinging for the fences,
man. It's all grappling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just gotta, you know, get them to the ground and then pick which limb you want to hurt.
I'm familiar. I've tumbled down some Wikipedia rabbit holes.
Yeah, man.
About
You should
the
come out
Gracies.
and just like roll around a little bit. If you have a wrestling background, you're probably gonna beat people that are just starting that
and just
don't
come
have any
wearing
background.
what? Just t-shirt and shorts?
So I wear like a rash guard, so it's like shorts and then like an Under Armour shirt.
That's right.
Usually what I do. Or you have the gi, like so you look like Ryu and Ken. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I'll get some of that rash guard. I got plenty enough rashes already.
Yeah, I'll drink
You know
to
what I'm
that.
saying?
Well, dude, I got like a skin infection from a competition before.
Get that ringworm.
Yeah, it was actually impetigo. It's like
Impetigo?
Yeah, dude, it was like a flesh-eating
They got
bacteria
pills
thing.
for impotence, dude.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Take
I
a
mean,
little
I
blue
did. Oh my fucking god, this fucking guy, bro. It's a little blue pill.
Impetigo, bro.
Hashtag 5-day forecast. Am I right?
Some fire impetigo. Yeah, I got you, bro.
That's out of control. Not too long ago, teach him something because he's slacking. Oh man, Brian's slacking. You know, Brian, he'll choke you out. No, Brian, he's the guy I went to DEF CON with.
Oh, okay, great.
That I had with the scavenger hunt thing. Me and him did like a Spartan race recently too. He was slacking on that too. So Mexipino, you got to get after him about just training more, man. Brian will get after it, but he you know, motivate him and point him in the right direction. He'll get there. He's got these loud ass quads. And these like juicy, he's got these big old fucking calves. I'm like, oh, he's gonna get through this mountain mad easy. He's like, he got halfway up and just started dying. I'm like, bro, you're making me look so bad right now. Like, I thought you were gonna be a fucking the tank. No, but he'll kill you.
Do you think you'll ever get back into climbing?
I will. I'm waiting for my wrist to kind of get better. I would get into it more if I had more time now. I would totally do it again. But between the podcast and just trying to do the music thing lately, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back. It's I missed the bird. Like, I still have all my climbing gear. It's just, you know, I gotta blow that dust off of it. You know what I mean?
I'm always like in a limbo between, like, grade chasing and just completely resigning and like chilling out, like hanging out and just shooting the shit with people. Like, I don't even want to climb, and then maybe I'll take down a 13.
Yeah,
but
maybe
no.
I'll take down a 13. Dude, well, you like for your like.
My build.
Your build, yeah, exactly. Like,
I'm very slight.
You are the climbing build, bro. Like,
I guess.
I remember the first time I watched you climb. I'd seen you in the gym dozens of times before that, and then I saw you climb, and I'm like, holy shit, bro! Anthony's a fucking tank, bro. What the fuck is this guy?
Tiny tank, baby.
How the fuck is he so strong?
Dude, I got that Peter Parker build where it's just like
exactly, bro.
Like,
didn't you do Spider-Man for the Halloween
costume? Yes, I did.
Too?
I promise I have muscles, you just can't see them. You know what I mean?
don't know, man. I see him there. I see them.
Like, look at that. Yeah, that's me, baby. I'm out here climbing, dog.
You work at a gas station, right?
At a gas station?
Right?
No.
Oh, no. I mean, I was confused on a diesel.
Dude, get out of here, bro. I work for BP. All that diesel. Yeah, man. I eat my rice and beans, bro. What can I say?
Yeah, man. What's your diet consist of, man? You don't drink?
I don't drink much. I've been drinking a little bit more than usual lately because I had a friend over, and so I was like...
Yeah, special occasions. I try to make that the thing, but I've been kind of It's been a stressful
You're like,
last
I've been
few months. So I gotta any time someone hands me a beer, I'm like, yes, please,
No,
God, give
I don't.
me this.
I usually don't partake in alcohol. I just hate the fact that like to get the effects out of it, I have to pay for it. Like either by being
Yeah.
dehydrated as fuck all night, or feeling like kind of shitty the next morning.
Yeah.
And I usually like to climb in the morning, so it's like
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm trying to get fucked up.
Yeah, no, I'm
with
with
some
that,
alcohol.
man.
You know what I mean?
Well, like when I remember when I was younger, like right when I turned 21, like I've always been like an on or off switch kind of guy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty binary. There's not like, oh, I have a couple beers. It was either I'm good or I'm getting bombed.
Yes.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
there was no in between. And now I can have like a couple beers, but I usually don't like to pay for them. That's kind of my rule. Like if I have to pay for the drink,
Yeah.
like then I don't want
Like
to.
I may not need it that
yeah,
much.
you know what I mean? Exactly. And that's but you know, when you play shows, you're drinking on the house a lot of the time. So it's like, hey.
When my buddy came over from Puerto Rico, we bought a case and went back to this other poet's house. Shout out Noah Ayala. And
Were you guys drinking medalla?
no, that's the thing is like they let me choose.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, I know what I'll get. I'll get like perpetual IPA.
Oh man.
And they hit it and they're like,
What
the fuck
is
is this?
this?
What kind of white shit is this? I'm like, hey, it's good. No. Good.
Look at the percent on there, bro.
Yeah,
More
like-
bang for your buck, baby.
Yeah, se pega. You know, it's got the shit. And they're like, I don't know, it tastes hard.
Más fuerte.
It tastes pointy.
Yeah.
I was like, no, dude.
It's pointy. Oh,
It was
shit.
good though. I like perpetual IPA, and sometimes I liked one called Mary Jane. There was like
No, I don't know that
I
one.
pick up the artisanal shit, you know, the hipster shit. I like the art, so I just like go by the art.
Oh, I'm with that.
And there was like a old bomber girl, like pinup painting.
Oh, hell yeah, bro.
Mary Jane, and
Say
I was
no
like,
more,
I
bro.
wanted to taste it, and it was so good. And Fat Tire, I like Fat
Oh,
Tire.
dude. Fucking New Belgium. That's
Yeah.
my jam, bro.
Yeah.
I had a
It tastes round, dude.
Dude, it is. It tastes round. It's very just chocolatey.
It's
Like,
got
I don't
thick-
know.
it's
The
thicky.
edges are just it's
Oh.
it's thick. It's what you need.
It's
It
what you
tastes like
need.
what you need.
Frothy.
Yeah. I remember I had a comedian on, and he got a 6-pack of his favorite beer, and then I got 2 each of like some of my favorite beers.
Nice.
I got like the Victory Sour Monkey.
Mm-hmm.
That's like that one's just high percent and it's just delicious. You can
Mhm.
you drink it with anything. Fat Tire was the second one, and then that Purple Haze. You know that one?
Yeah, I do
It's
know
so
Purple Haze.
fucking good, dude.
You know that it's like too bad. So I didn't get into drinking. I didn't drink until I was 21. But drinking was like terrible for my dad. He was an alcoholic
Yeah,
when I was
same.
a kid, but he cleaned up and he got a liver transplant.
Oh wow, dude.
and he was
that's-
clean for the rest
that's
of his
pretty
life.
Crazy.
And so like my mom always told me like if you drink you will die.
Yeah.
She always said that, so I didn't drink.
Your liver's just not built for
Yeah,
it.
yeah. She's like, my dad died from it. Your dad died from it. Like, don't
Oh,
fuck with it.
man.
So I didn't fuck with it until I was 21. And yeah, it's like, you know, I
Moderation is key, man.
I don't want to ever feel like I need anything. Like that's the shit that
100%,
really
dude.
scares me.
Dude, I'm the same way. Like that's why, like with this wrist thing, like everyone's like, oh, like go see a doctor, dude. I've been a year and I
Yo,
still
you got
haven't.
a bump in your wrist, bro.
Is there?
It's bumpy.
It's ugly. It's just and it hurts on the inside. I just don't want to go to a doctor,
That's
man.
not
It's like
good.
my body knows how to fix this. I think I just need to quit my job.
Yeah, I just need to quit.
I need to not use a mouse anymore for
Oh,
like
yeah,
for like,
you got
for
the
like
mouse.
3 months. I think that's what it is.
Mouse hand.
Which is crazy because like I started out, you know, years ago when like in my like being in an athletic adult situation. I started with lifting and playing ultimate frisbee. Then I was like climbing for a while. Now I'm doing the jiu-jitsu thing.
Yeah.
And then there was parkour in there as well. And now like the thing that's killing me is this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, come on.
Isn't that a fucking? Isn't that
it's so whack,
rub?
man. It just makes me feel like
I need
a
to
whole
get into
pussy.
lifting, dude. I need to get some like some shoulders. You
I don't
what
know,
I'm saying?
man. I think, dude, I think lifting to supplement another activity is the move for sure.
Yeah,
Like,
but not being your main focus. Just
even
as a
if it
supplement.
is your main focus, I just love really buff guys that think that
You love
because-
really buff guys
Well, let me finish.
out on the trails.
Yeah, exactly.
Cut to that desktop.
Yeah.
No.
But like buff guys that think because they're huge and well built that they can fight.
Oh
and
my
it's like,
God.
bro, And then like my friends that I'll see at like LA Fitness where I live, they're like, oh, this, that, and the other thing. Like, I'll watch UFC. That shit wouldn't work on me. I'm like, bro, all right. So this is how that works. It would work
Like
on
it
you.
turns
and
off
then
the
they're
blood
like,
to your brain.
Yeah, well,
is
yeah,
what it
it's
does.
and they're like I put my one friend in like a heel hook or like a straight ankle, something that breaks feet. And he's like, that wouldn't work on me. I'm like, bro, I'm going mad easy on you right now. Like, if I ripped this, you would die.
Yeah.
Like, this would hurt your leg so bad that you would have a heart attack and die.
It's the same way with climbing.
Yeah, dude, 100%, bro. I love those guys. Like, oh, what, are you climbing a wall? There's, like, holds?
Yeah, like
I don't need those gay shoes, bro. Like,
them big dudes come out, and then my tiny ass gets up. You know what I mean?
yeah, and you're just, like, doing it with one arm while you're texting. It's like,
Yeah,
it's just like-
texting, bro. Text and
Look
climb.
at a selfie right here. Oh, man.
So what else, man? What else?
I don't know. So let's talk about you, man. Let's not talk about me, baby.
All right.
I brought you onto my show, baby.
All right, what can I break you off with?
All right. So there was I'm trying to think what else I saw out there. So you're doing a lot of traveling and stuff.
Yes.
So do you want to kind of go into your work history and how you became a journalist? Like, where'd your education start, and how did you get to where you are now?
Sure, man. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio.
Yeah, I saw that. I forgot
Actually,
even
Hamilton,
mentioned it.
Ohio, which is about 40 minutes away. It's similar to Reading in that it's like the next city over from the actual city.
Yeah.
And I went to the University of Cincinnati. I studied poetry. Let's see, what else? I didn't study poetry. I'm sorry, my girlfriend's texting me. I have to see what's going on.
Yeah.
She said something about the podcast, man.
Oh, go ahead.
You know, our
Well,
friends are helping us out
she's
there.
like, make sure you shout out this. and
Yeah,
the
make
other
sure.
thing."
She's just sitting here watching us for the last 2 hours. She said,
awesome.
she said, the podcast is so long. LOL. Yeah, tell me.
Oh my god, dude, we can
No,
cut it.
I'm
We can
just
cut it.
fucking
Whatever.
with you.
We can
I'm
cut,
just
we
fucking-
dude, I've gone from like 1.5 hours to like 4 hours.
You know what?
before.
Let's end it in 15 minutes. How about that? That way we.
All right,
Ba,
man.
ba, ba, you know
Whatever
what
you
I'm
want, man.
So,
That's good.
I went to the University of Cincinnati. I studied journalism. I sent my resume everywhere. I was active in journalism there. I sent my resume to places where there was good rock climbing. None of those places needed me. Reading, PA needed a Latino.
So you've been climbing for a while then.
Well, yeah. I've been here for 7.5 years now. Yeah. And so Reading Eagle called me. I tried out. I thought I did terribly. And then it turns out they wanted me, so I just moved over here without knowing anybody, man.
Wow.
No friends, no
moves.
family. Yeah, just moved out here. And I've been professionally a journalist for the past 7 years. And that started with the newspaper, which blossomed into multiple things. Like I changed my beat. I was Latino beat. I was working in like Topahaken and Hamburg, and then became the city beat reporter. They also gave me a city edition newspaper to be like the voice of, which was really cool.
That is
Responsibility. I live in the city. I do work in the city. So, yeah, that was a really cool opportunity, man. And then now I'm just independent. I left in March. They also filed for bankruptcy right when I left. So people thought I got like fired, which wasn't the
What?
case. I just needed a change, man. I needed some autonomy in my life. The grind was kind of toxic. Going and learning about all the gossip and hearsay about people. It just got old, man. And while I still love the city and I want to inform people and empower them, I'm doing it through a different way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's empowering them through their voice, letting them have a voice, teaching them how to tell their own stories, how to be a journalist and a poet. So I just finished an artist in residency with my group, Barrio Alegria. That's BARRIO ALEGRIA, Alegria. Check them out. We have tons of free programming for people. But yeah, I did mini documentaries. I did some filming. I was
That's
a videographer, so I did 6 mini docs called Barrio Stories. Check those out. That's BARRIO, so 2 R's on that. stories on YouTube. You'll see some shit with that. And I do reports for local organizations who want to learn about like technology in schools. What are kids using? What will they be using in the next 5 years? What didn't work out? And water quality. I just finished a report about water quality. What our resources are here in Berks County. What contamination threats we have. Where's our water located? That sort of shit. So I just do research for people. I digest it and I put it out for them to use, whatever that may mean for them. So
That's awesome, man.
yeah, I love it. I mean, like you said, it depends heavily on the freedom of speech. So I'm for people saying whatever the fuck they want, even if I don't like it.
I'll drink to that, bro.
Yeah, shit, man. I'll drink to that too. Even if you don't like it, you should be allowed to say what you want, or somebody should. Now, if that directly incites violence or chaos or something, obviously you got to keep it real. But
Talk shit, get hit, man.
dude, yeah, if you talk shit, also you got to back it up sometimes. Sometimes you say some wild shit. Just because you have the freedom of speech doesn't mean you have the freedom of consequence. Of a
exactly.
private company or public opinion or the motherfucker who you pissed off.
Yeah,
So
exactly,
it's like,
man.
you say what you say, and if you can back it up, you can back it up. If you can't, then, you know, oh well, buddy.
Yeah.
You know, I like to think that truth, beauty, and good can fight for itself. And if somebody is talking some shit that's just nonsense, if you meet that with equal noise of beauty, truth, and good, I think that it can outweigh the bad. Somebody who's just sounding off, you know, people who are inconsiderate and nasty, you know what I mean? There's crabby
Absolutely.
people everywhere. So
Absolutely, everywhere. There's this quote that I always hold near and dear to my heart with that one, too, is don't write a check with your mouth that you can't cash with your ass.
Mhm.
So I'll say whatever I believe, but it's because I have conviction in that, and there's a reason why I think that.
And sometimes you might say shit in places where you won't in others. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, bro. It's about, you know, just be candid, but be careful. You know what I mean?
Sometimes I crack like Latino jokes and people are like, "Yo, what's up, man?" And
For
then I'm
real?
like, "No, it's okay.
It's like,
I
bro,
promise I'm
relax.
Mexican."
It's like you don't understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so man, and sometimes you never know who's gonna receive your stuff wrong. Like you'll be crazy. Like this group will be like, "Oh, that's hilarious," and then like the group you never expected not to find it funny is like, "Dude, you can't say that." I'm like, relax.
Yeah, relax.
Relax. My God.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's my job. I work with Barrio Alegria as well. Mostly volunteer. I mean, to keep it real, I'm going to be officially their part of their board. But we have like open mic nights. We have explorations into the art, which is every Friday night. We have something, whether it be like folkloric dancing, salsa dancing, adult coloring books where they just put on some chill hip hop, lo-fi beats to study to, and you just like
dude.
put that shit on. And then we do acting. They just did a big play. They're gonna do another play on Penn Street, where there's like stations. It's gonna be a mobile play. It's from 2nd Street to like 6th Street. You meet like all these characters and
That's
shit.
super cool.
Yeah, dude. So it's a really cool group. I encourage everybody to check it out. Don't be afraid to come into the city. We're right there on 5th Street. We're like next to Abraham Lincoln.
Mhm.
We're like right there, bro. So come through and check it out. It's always a good vibe. It's real nice people, and you get to express yourself. You get to try new things. When's the last time you tried something for the first time?
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? Definitely, and you'll never know if it's for you until you get out there.
Yeah.
You know.
Word up.
Is that right by Centro Hispano? Right there.
Yeah, it's
Dude.
not a place too far away from Centro. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Hop, skip, and
Yeah.
jump. That's 140 North 5th Street. Check them out on Facebook. I mean, and Instagram, Barrio Alegria. Check them out. They're everywhere.
That's awesome.
It's
man.
dope shit,
I'll
man.
definitely throw the links in the bio description-y area here on the video as well. So make sure you guys check that out. So yeah, man. And then now, like, you're kind of doing that independent contracting stuff with the reporting, and
Yeah.
you're doing that with the poetry and the Barrio Alegria.
Yeah.
That's incredible, man. So do you have any advice that you can give other people that are maybe, you know, getting stale with their situation, like maybe their fire that they had for their job is kind of going away? How do you find the next move?
Yo, I heard some wild shit when I was about to leave the Reading Eagle through the grapevine, and people treated me different, you know what I mean? But
In what way? Like, I mean, be vague, but,
Like, when you're leaving, and especially in a business like newspapers where you guys are fucking in it together, bro. I mean, it's just like, if you're a crab fisher or something, where you build that camaraderie and it's a niche thing,
No doubt.
And then when somebody leaves, you feel like they're, like, abandoning you, which I understand, you know what I mean? I got it, but I had to follow my own destiny. So follow your destiny, man. If it's calling you, don't fuck fear, man. Like, your ancestors are watching, you know what I mean? Like, I always think of, like, some Aztecs, like, just looking at me like, what the fuck are you afraid about? Like, you got a home, you got food, like, what are you fucking scared of, bro? Like, so I'm trying to be courageous. That's why I climb, is because it's a practice in courage, right? Like, I have a fear of heights. I have a fear of falling. I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
I really don't like it.
You don't like to look down.
I don't like it, but
up.
I do it. And I make myself, like, I numb the nerve, you know what I mean? Because if not, what am I going to do? I'm going to sit home and fucking feel sorry for myself or feel scared. No, I'd rather be up there and fly, you know what I'm saying? So if you guys are thinking about changing your life up, if you're about, maybe done with your job, I mean, what's a year off gonna do to you? And I haven't taken a year off, but I mean, switch it. Like, dive into something. Make a little nest for yourself, a little safety net, and if you can, that's privilege. But if you can make a safety net for yourself, dive into your passion and try to do something not for yourself, but for the community as well, man. It's so rewarding. I can't tell you. My life has changed completely just because I didn't even really believe in myself. Tatiana believed in me, and my friends believed in me, and that convinced me to finally believe in myself. And man, I wouldn't change it for the world. There are people back at that newspaper fucking miserable, bro.
No doubt. And you could have been one of them, man.
I could still be over there, bro. And I wouldn't have gone to Maine, Massachusetts, Cuba, Canada, Ohio, Kentucky, West Virginia. I wouldn't have been able to do all that I've been doing in the past 6 months. So it's a blessing, bro. And also with your art, if you're thinking about sharing your art, do it and fail. Fail a lot. That's the only way you can get something good, is if you have a lot of dirt. That's how you get diamonds. You got to sift through it.
Yeah.
So, I would encourage people to take part and then to become a part of a community. That's something I would encourage people, whether it be like a music community, podcast community, gaming community, climbing, poetry. As long as you feel invested in other people's livelihood or well-being or happiness, man, it's so rewarding when you know that you make somebody happy or that you discovered something. So I would just say, don't be afraid. Jump out there and shine your light, man. Everybody's got something. Everybody's got something to share. So, yeah, fuck fear.
Mateo said,
Orale, Mateo Toro. Toro. Rhetorical.com. Check him out. Check out his videos. He's been very, very kind to me. He's always done a lot of videos for me for the poetry tip. So, check me out at Glyph Poetry on Instagram and YouTube, and check out Rhetorical.
And do you have like a website for your stuff?
No, man, I'm slacking on that since I rather it be face to face. I love it when I love to compare it to like a statue. I have a leopard mask at home, like a Mayan wood carved leopard mask. And there's one thing to have that leopard mask, and it's another thing to have a fucking leopard in the room with you. Like, you don't know what's gonna happen. So I like my poetry to be full of breath, full of life. I like to be right there and do it. I think that might switch very soon. I think I might have my, my written works, my recorded works, and also maybe some publication or whatever. I think I might be focusing on that soon, but as for now, it's live and direct.
That's awesome. So let me ask you this. How do you go about doing poetry and making money doing that? Like obviously you've done a lot of groundwork to get to where you're at doing this, but how do you get I feel like for a musician it's easy. Hey, we need a guy to fill some time playing some music in the background of this event. Couldn't be easier to get a gig doing that. but everyone's got eyes on you. This is a really specific thing to get booked for. Like, how does that happen?
It's
Like,
a little different too.
no
It's,
doubt.
like, it's a little bit more niche than music, because music can just be in the background. You don't have to pay attention. But when there's like some guy like making a social critique, you're like, what the fuck is this guy? Is he talking about 9/11? Like, what did I just hear? What the did he just say? So it's like, it's hard. I did it just as a passion. I never thought I would make money off of it, but I respected the craft and I obsessed over it, and people took note, and then they won. I mean, it happened through word of mouth. I'm not a hustler.
Yeah.
I don't really hustle my stuff all that well. Most people came to me and was like, yo, can you host this or host that, or can you be our featured poet for this? And you just get into the world, right? Like gaming and podcasting. There's a little niche.
Absolutely.
And there's this fucking well that you can fall down.
Yeah.
And you find people who love it and share the same sort of appreciation. And if you can fire it off for them, then you hear it's word of mouth. You know, people connect you. So I'm going to try to do it. The next level for me is having a book or having something like merchandise
that
I can sell.
there.
I've never liked
Absolutely.
the idea of monetizing my poetry, which shows, at least to me, that it truly was a passion. But once you have the passion down, people will buy a commodity, you know. People will buy it, and that's okay. You know, money doesn't make it dirty. And if I can get paid for it, all the better, you know what I mean? They have it. I need it. I'll take it. It's no big deal. So I'm trying to learn to monetize myself and still feel like a human being and not like a brand or something, you know what I mean?
Absolutely,
So,
bro.
Because you have to brand yourself as a musician. And
Yeah, well, even as the podcast, I'm the Bardic Inspiration Podcast. You know what I mean? I have to do it some specific way, but I think as long as you maintain your conviction and stay standing for what you believe in, like the whole purpose for this podcast is because I want to give people like you a platform.
Thank you.
Your voice matters.
Thank
and
you.
If I have the ability to help you share your voice with the world, that's my goal,
It's
baby.
fucking dope, man. I really appreciate that. I
Yeah,
can't tell
man.
you. I appreciate you letting me on here. I love that everybody is watching and commenting. That's awesome.
This was great, man. I think we honestly got some really good reception here. I'm glad I started implementing this screen here. Like,
Yeah.
This was a good move.
And everybody check out poetry. Check out your local poet. If somebody's doing a GoFundMe or doing an open mic, like, just show a little bit of love, man.
Yeah, go
And-
show up, buy like a fucking falafel and
Yeah,
listen to
go
them.
I don't know what's doing falafel.
I'm hungry, bro.
Yeah, me too. All right, bro. I'm out of here.
All right,
you so
brother.
much.
Yo, thanks again for coming out.
Thank you so
Tony.
much for having me. I
You're
really
the man.
appreciate it.
All right, peace. Peace, y'all.
Show them that back-top one more time. That background.
Yeah, you're right.
Before we go, I just want to leave you with this desktop background because it's gonna haunt my dreams tonight. Hold on, he's closing the Pornhub at the moment. Hold on.
I'm gonna just like circle it. I'm gonna circle it. There it is. There's the creeper in the woods right there. You know what's the story about
Oh,
that?
it's up there.
I'll tell the story about this, right? So I was in Florida visiting my grandma, and I was just going on a run.
Of course you're in Florida.
Oh my god. Yeah, Florida guy, right? Florida man in woods caught doing whatever obscure
Do they
obscenities.
see it? Can they see
Yeah, they
it?
can, dude. They can see
Wow.
it for 100% sure. So the story behind this picture, I'm changing this desktop background
No.
after this.
Send me that background, that desktop background.
So the story behind it, I was visiting my grandma in Florida, and I had just gotten a camera, like my first DSLR. So I'm like, oh, I want to like practice doing some stuff. So if you look at this, like, you friends with Mateo? He's got like a.
Oh, are you timing? Are you trying to see if you can?
Well,
see
I was
your-
exactly like I set the focal length to a perfect distance. I'm like, I wonder if I can go right over there and it would be perfect. And then like you see this nice blur, like there's an
Yes.
aesthetic to this picture.
Yeah, this is the foreground
yeah.
is faded.
Even without
This
the
is
crazy,
off-center.
the crazy, you know, fucking Bigfoot man, you know what I mean? Crazy basketball shorts
Sure,
dude
dude.
over there, you know what I
I
mean?
take pictures in the woods too.
Yeah, man. It's like I wanted to practice, and I was like, you know, let me do this. And this was one of the better ones that came out. So I'm like, oh, I'm proud of this
Good
piece
job.
of work. So you know what? I'm not gonna take it down 'cause
Don't.
I am proud of
Keep
this
it.
picture.
Keep it.
Thanks
All right, man.
again, bro.
Peace.
Take it easy, y'all. Support this man.
Tati, save me some Chinese food.